Hey, everybody. Okay, listen, why does God kill a lot of people near the very beginning of the Bible? In Genesis chapter 6, folks, we're only in chapter 6 of the Bible and everybody dies. Everybody's wiped out in this major flood except for Noah and his family and a few animals. So that's sort of a big question. Like, you know, it's only chapter 6 of the Bible, and it's as if God just ran out of ideas. Like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just kill everybody and wipe them out and start all over again. So this is a story that has captured the imaginations of people and also troubled people for a very long time, both Jewish readers and Christian readers. And it's hard to know what to do with it. And I don't want to suggest a simplistic answer, because actually the answer is very complicated, and in a good way. It forces us to really look at a lot of issues sort of at the same time. But there's only one issue that I want to put out there today that might give a little context for a story like this. And here's the context. A flood in the ancient world actually happened. Not a global flood, but a local flood in the Mesopotamian part of the world. That's the part where a lot of the Bible stories happen, in Mesopotamia. And a local flood happened around 2900 BCE. We know this archaeologically, geologically. And also another one actually occurred around 10,000 BCE in the Black Sea, sort of coming down and flooding that whole area. And, you know, those are stories that a lot of people think probably prompted a number of ancient cultures to write stories about this massive flood that killed people. And we have examples, for example, the Gilgamesh epic, which mentions a flood story. And then there's also the Atrahasis epic, which also mentions a flood story that actually looks very similar to the biblical flood story. That's a topic for another day. But we have these stories of floods in antiquity that were written because they had to explain it somehow. That's really the point of this. You know, why do these floods happen? Well, it's not natural occurrences. It's something that the gods did. The gods control weather. They don't blame weather patterns. The gods did this. And for all these people to have died, there must be a reason that God's wrath sort of gets, you know, put down on everybody, and everybody dies. So that's the mentality, and understandably so. This is not a scientific world, it's an ancient world. And, you know, they're not goofy or weird, they're just trying to explain things as best as they can. The biblical story follows along those same lines. It's actually the biblical version of this ancient event of a flood and these ancient stories that developed to explain why the gods would do that. Now, what makes the biblical story what it is, that's the topic for another video or two. We'll get to that. But for here, the bottom line is simply this. If you ask me, I don't believe that God drowned people at the beginning of time because he ran out of ideas and needed to sort of kill everybody and start over again. I don't believe that. But the biblical writers did. That's the point. They believed that because, not because they were stupid, not because they hadn't thought about it, but because of when and where they lived. As ancient people, this is how you explain the story. The real drama of the story isn't, you know, whether it happened or not, but what are they trying to say about their God in this story? And as I said, that's the next video. But for now, I don't believe it happened. I don't believe God does this, but I believe the ancients explained it in terms of what God did. Okay? Next time, we'll dig into the story of Noah a little bit more and try to come up with some answers for why it looks the way that it does. All right, folks, thanks for watching. See ya.